Hello, and welcome to yet another thrilling podcast of My Dog Will Eat My Face. I once again apologize for being somewhat absent as of late. Unfortunately, it's not because of any extended vacation or trip or any other good excuse I could think of. Picking copper out of an abandoned building, maybe? I don't know. Nothing good at all. It's more related to my energy levels and my side effects of my condition and how those are suiting me or not suiting me, as I should probably put it. So, in this podcast, unfortunately, I'm going to keep it probably a little short because I do need to notify something that might be upcoming here pretty soon, and it might take a while to adapt to. And I just want to make sure my listeners are at least aware of that before it becomes an issue. And also, I wish to provide you, I guess, first and foremost, with just a generalized update of how things are going, what it's like, and I guess where I'm at this juncture. After it's been several years of a very long struggle, it almost seems like the roosters are coming home, so to speak, to roost. Is that right? The roosters are coming home to roost? That doesn't make any sense. I can't think of the original phrase. Aha, see, my cognitive ability has declined. Anyway, I'm just facing with different circumstances, and those are making things quite a bit harder for me. So, without further ado, let me just dive right into it and give you an update as to what is going on. Now, I know in the last podcast I updated a series of things that you would not otherwise expect to be indicators of a pulmonary or cardiac issue. And I went ahead and listed those out, absent my doctor's confirmation, and there was something like, basically I'm dissolving. I'm apparently solvent. The skin is just falling off my face and my legs and everywhere else. It's just, I'm shedding worse than the dog at this point. And apparently the reason for that I read was due to low blood flow to the skin, which is, of course, just another organ. Also, there's been a persistent hoarseness that I've been dealing with. I almost said gambling with for no reason. No, I've not been in any casinos lately. That would actually make some sense. Persistent hoarseness, just my voice being difficult to inflect and reach its normal levels. And again, that's just from lack of sufficient blood flow to the thorax. And there was also a third and fourth that were kind of what's the word? Embarrassing. One I will share because this is not my fault, right? This is just things that are happening, and it's all coming down to lack of blood flow. And one of them that's not actually so bad is severe constipation. It seems to take an act of Congress to have a BN these days. And a grappling hook and a hand grenade and a howitzer to get anything moving in my tummy. When my nurse listens to my stomach, it's just dead cold. There's no, I mean, not literally dead, God. But it's just not making any noise. It's not processing things like it should. So, appetite and moving things along are both greatly hindered. And then finally, I've lost quite a bit of weight again, unintentionally. When I started on this journey into hospice care, I was a whopping 192. Now that was too high for me. I was starting to look like the Michelin Man, with all the water weight I had gained and put onto me. And I was happy to get rid of that, actually. I dropped down to a pretty stable, recently stable 174. It was that for quite a long time now. When, in about 2 weeks of time, and just that little bit of time, it dropped down to 158. And that's still normal for my height, but it's starting to get a little shaky, and I'm kind of reminded of the old film Thinner, if you remember that, where this guy is cursed by a gypsy. He's a big fat guy. He starts to lose weight, and everyone's all happy for him, but then he just gets thinner and thinner until he just, disintegrates. I'm kind of reminded of that movie. I'm thinking to my body, okay, you can chill now. You can probably lay off the droppage of the poundage now. But, lo and behold, it's still dropping very rapidly. And I'm not trying to do that. I wouldn't venture to say it's unexplainable, but the bottom line is I'm not trying to lose the weight. So, I did get confirmation from my doctor that all these are absolutely signs of my condition worsening. On top of that, not related to those original 4 things, they've added on a very hoarse cough that I have that happens several times a day, where I try to bring up edema fluid, and it can be pretty harsh and violent and difficult for me. I struggle tremendously to bring up edema fluid out of my lungs, and that can happen, about 2 to 3 times a day now. So I'm facing quite a quandary of different new symptoms that are really ragging me down. Not the least of which is just the fatigue. I'm just tired as all get out. When I am given an option of, let's say, doing a little something, watching a movie, or just cuddling with my little dog, I pick the latter. It's just getting to a point where even watching a movie almost seems laborious. And for that, I feel really sorry for my dog. He's still very active. He likes to play, and I hate not being able to play with him. I try to do what I can, but I do feel a little guilty for that. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do to resolve that. Maybe hire a rover or something to come by and just play with him. But the problem is, I want to play with him. I want to bond with him. I like playing with him. I enjoy it. I laugh. That's the issue. I want to do it. So I just don't see any way of helping that if I have someone else do it. Anyway. So, needless to say, things have become worse and confirmed worse by my doctor. I know I said some of this in the last podcast as well. I'm just confirming that it's still continuing to get worse and worse, like with the weight loss and the fatigue, and the doctors confirming that this is from lack of blood flow. And it's starting to look rather uncertain. I don't want to go so far as to say bleak, because it's always looked bleak. It's always been miserable now. But I generally had some amount of confidence that I would probably wake up tomorrow. I don't know if I can say that anymore. And there's definitely that lack of confidence that I'm experiencing. And unfortunately, on top of that, my family and friends that were supposed to be helping me more have gone the other direction and have helped me a little bit less. And so it's basically me and a few friends and my dog. That's it. So they've even brought up other things that I would have never have addressed. And actually, one of the worst things that I was told is by two people. One of them actually my nurse, who just didn't see me for 2 weeks because she was on vacation, but she and a friend said that they could tell that I was doing worse just by looking at me. They said I had splotchy skin and peeling skin. I was disintegrating. And that I had visibly lost weight. Like they could see it in my face and in my arms. I don't want to lose weight in my arms. That's so far from anywhere where I'd want to lose weight. Why would I want to lose weight there? So it's unfortunate to where now people are seeing it more and more. And, you know, all my life, my pulmonary hypertension and CHF has kind of been my dirty little secret because I didn't look the part. And I could dress it up if I had to. You know, if I had to work it, I could work it. And I just didn't look the part. And I was happy with that because I didn't want the special treatment. I didn't want people ogling me, any of that. And more, I can't say that anymore. I'm looking the part. And that sucks. If for no other reason, I'm still a very vain person. I still want to look my best, of course. And that just isn't doing that. So this has got me in quite the quandary from a number of physical and obviously emotional issues on top of that. And it's been difficult to take the time to provide a podcast. Also thinking that my voice would be able to suffice through any duration and not go out entirely on me is making it difficult. Having a persistent hoarseness does not mix well when you're a podcast producer. So, oh well. But I wanted to make sure I did provide that full update, at least for my friends and family, anyone out there who cares. And it's starting to get rather disappointing and rather, golly, this is going to sound like the dumbest thing I've ever said. It's starting to get concerning. It wasn't concerning when my cardiologist said I was dying. Oh, it's just a day of the week. Now it's starting to get concerning. Well, that's why I say it's probably the dumbest thing I've ever said, but it's the truth. I've been told doom and gloom my whole life because of my condition. So it was almost just another day, but recently, more and more, it's been concerning to me. And that's what one might call a bit of a bummer. So, I wanted to make sure that update was out of the way and understood before any other proceeding. Well, and there's another thing I need to go over quickly here before it catches me in a bit of a conundrum where I can't communicate for a bit. So, this is just some housekeeping for listeners. My application provider that I use to record podcasts is in the process of going through an acquisition and a lot of different changes. And when I say changes, they are going to be changes with the physical process of how these changes are made. So I've gone through some of the tutorials and it looks easy enough. It looks almost too easy. So there might be a little bit of a curb, a little bit of break. Once all that's been implemented, once I truly know how to do all the basic technical functioning, editing, sounds, segments, whatever. And I just don't know how long that will take. I might pick it up really quickly in 30 seconds and be done. I might be a complete idiot, and it might take me 10 days. I just don't know. So, I wanted to give that warning in case of the latter. If after this podcast I go quiet for a week or two, it's probably not because I'm dead. It's probably because I'm trying to learn technology that has changed on me, and that's always fun. So I just wanted to give that forewarning out there, and I'll probably call it, just to keep it clean and easy, a new season, because it's going to be totally different. Different kinds of sounds. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work exactly, how segments are going to work. It's going to be, in some of the descriptions I've heard, tutorials I've seen, it seems weird. I'm not sure how it's going to work out. So I'm probably going to start all over with a new season, just to demarcate that new point. And again, just giving you folks the forewarning that there might be a couple weeks there where I'm trying to learn it, and it's not because I'm dead, it's because I'm stupid. So, I just wanted to throw that out there really quick and make everyone aware. But with all that said, I do want to state that regardless of whatever happens with my symptoms or my technological idiocy, I wanted to leave no doubt with all my listeners. That is something that I stole, again, way back in the day from my niece's CrossFit program. So if you do CrossFit out there in the world, I'm sure you've heard that phrase, leave no doubt, abbreviated LND, to leave no doubt that you've always given your best effort. That at no point there's a shimmering or a slight nudge that says, maybe I could have tried a little harder. Nope, you leave no doubt with that. You know you gave it your best. And I still am going to do that. And I'm still going to do that regardless of what symptoms I see. What I do and what I value from what I do might change. Honestly, I've been valuing just time with my dog. To me, that's far more important than watching a movie. And I don't regret that decision at all, at least the ones I've made so far. And I want to just make sure everyone knew that I have no fear whatsoever of how my death may come, when it will come, or how. I know I've lived a full life, as I've said so many times in this podcast over the years. I know I couldn't have possibly done more. I mean, sure, I guess maybe in 1984 I could have added another ice cream claw. I don't know, stupid crap like that. But for the most part, for all the things that matter, I know I did my best. I'm left no doubt, and therefore have no fear, and I'm completely at peace with my death. Only concern I have is my little one, the dog. I want to make sure he's cared for. And so, yes, of course, I've got paperwork on that to get that arranged. But I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that I still mean everything I've said. I have no reason to fall back. There is no reason to tell me otherwise. I've lived a full life. I am very lucky for living that full life. And as our good friend Horace once said, happy is the man, happy he alone, he who, secure within, can say, tomorrow do thy worst, for I lived today. And I absolutely can say that. So, I just wanted to remind everyone of that position. To remind them that having lived a full life is far better than any other option. Death is nothing to be feared. Not having lived is to be feared, as Marcus Aurelius said. And I really do not think loss, to lose someone, is more than an illusion. And in a way, we're all going to be immortal. You can't unring a bell. You can't stop everything I've said. You can't take away the friendships I've had. You can't take away the things I've done, nor the things you've said are done. No power in heaven or hell, in heaven, in the skies, or on earth, can remove what's been done. And that will forever be there. Even if no one remembers it, it will always be there. So in that sense, I do think still we're all, in a way, immortal. Just wanted to have that pleasant reminder. Of course, getting there was many years of self-reflection. Not easy. But I'm sure glad I've done it. And I just wanted to remind everyone that none of that has changed one bit. So I'm going to go ahead and terminate this podcast this week. Just a little early. I could tell my voice is dragging a little bit, so I have to be cognizant of that. Why do companies have voice-activated prompts? Oh, God help me, why do they do that? It is such a cruel trick when you can't talk, and it's a voice-activated prompt when you call a company. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I did want to take the time to remind everyone of those principles that I've learned and explored in my time. And thank all of you for being there to give me a voice to share all those thoughts with. Obviously, none of those statements that I made can be abbreviated like a bumper sticker. You'd have to go back through months of self-reflection. But that's why I thank you. It, at least in part, gave me a motivation to continue that self-reflection. And I strongly encourage all of you, be it a journal, a recording, painting, drawing, something, poetry, take a moment to self-reflect as much as you can. It's rewarding many times over what you put into it. And can help you to find true joy in life, absent anything else. So, again, thank you for taking the time to listen to my words. Helps to give me a reason to blab away, self-reflect. And that's really what has given me that peace and that confidence and that fortitude. I do appreciate it very much. If you want to support the podcast any further, you can just go to its Spotify webpage and click on support this podcast. Or just go to patreon.com/mydogwilleeatmyface and support it that way too. Just toss a shekel in the cup of pencils. Can't hurt. But you've already given me the biggest gift, and that's your listenership, so I do mean that. Thank you. That will be this week's coverage. Like I said, I'm going to start slowly diving into these changes with my platform, and we'll see how long it takes. But my guess is it will be a new season. It might take a little bit, and barring any other substantial, big, earth-shattering news, I doubt I would publish something until I got that all figured out. But it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, how bad can it be, really? Oh, I love that famous last words. Anyway, thank you, my friends. Take care of yourselves, and for now, I must say, auf Wiedersehen.